Doing a harmonic balancer, my Falcon today, and just wanted to show you how I'm doing this. So if the old belt, I've cut it, I've wound it around the harmonic balancer, I've tied it off onto the lower control arm. Reason being is because I've seen this belt trick where people are using it and they're lapping it around on the harmonic balancer and it's pulling against the AC pump or alternator or something, and I just don't like the stress of doing that, putting onto the bearings somewhere else. So I've cut my old belt and I've tied it off to the control arm there, and I've already cracked the bolt there, so you can see that's turning and it's working. So now I'm going to get that off and I'm going to see if that comes off by hand, because everybody is using pulleys. I've never had to use a pulley to remove a harmonic balancer before, so let's see if I can get this off by hand. Holy smokes. I'm taking the outer side off, not the inside of the pulley's not coming out, that's the outside separating from the rubber. Well, here's one I haven't seen. Never had this happen to me before. I gave it a bit of a push with a screwdriver on the back there, just to see if I can get the harmonic balancer to slide off, and this guy here slid off. I was so lucky that, I haven't taken it out yet, I was so lucky that this didn't come flying off while driving and cause some sort of other damage, possibly in here. Well, definitely would have caused damage in here from the radiator and so forth, but if it had flung out underneath the car and on the highway or something like that, it could have been really bad. So yeah, interesting, never seen that happen before. But I've got to give it, like, I've never had to change the main seal or anything in this car. I've had it for 19 years. The car is 21 years old. Never had a rear main seal or front main seal had to be changed. They're still not leaking. First time the harmonic balancer is getting changed. This car's just lasting forever. There you go, there's the two parts of the harmonic balancer here. That's been falling apart for a while. I was just lucky it held in as long as it did. So 21 years on, that's brutal as. And so that coming off separate actually made it easier for me to get that there off. I've got me clamp here, and I couldn't get it on to start off with, having difficulties, so I welded the bugger, stopped those center arms from moving, got it on, pulled the center of the harmonic balancer off, and yeah, she's ready to go with the new one. Just clean her up and we'll put the new one on. Okay, I just want to go over a couple of things. This is off a different car that I'm currently working on as well. Now this is the crank pulley washer. That's the one off my mate's car. And the whole reason why you need to torque your harmonic balancer to spec is because these guys are a hardened steel. They're not just like what you call galvanized. It's not just a galvanized steel. This is a hardened steel, and when it's over torqued, you see the cracks in that. I've just cable tied it all back together. But he's had to go out and buy another one because whoever's done the car before him owning it has over torqued it and has cracked that. And what happens when this cracks, it kind of bends in a little bit, and then that bolt becomes loose. And thankfully whoever did it though used a lot of thread, what do you call that shit, that thread stuff? Thread lock. Yeah. So whoever's done this before also used a lot of thread lock, so getting the bolt out of the engine was a bit of a fight as well, but we got there. And so we're going to replace that in his motor. Now, doing this here, I'll show you my old one again. Now, I'm glad I'm not putting one like this back on, because you can see, trying to get the tool in there to try and take that out, I'm just lucky that the outside came off and I was able to get a puller onto that on the outside, pull that off, and no dramas. The new one I'm putting on is designed differently, and so it has the 3 screw holes in there, through bolt holes, I should say. And you get your pulley onto there, or your puller onto there, and you just pull that off. And that's a real easy job. You know, this one is designed that way. So I'm not going to change the front main seal. I never had a problem with it leaking before, but in saying that, after doing this, if it does become a problem of leaking, it's not such a big deal, because it's only 2 bolts and 2 connections to take that cowling system off, 2 radiator hoses, 2 bolts, and the radiator's out. And to give myself some more room, take the pulley off, because that's an easy job now, just to put the tool on there and take that off. So it's like a half an hour job later on in life if that seal starts to leak. So I'm not going to go out and buy another one today, just for the sake of changing that, because I'm there, when it's such an easy thing to do later on. So first of all, I need to just get some oil in here. Now I'll just put a little bit on there for good measure as well, and we'll put this harmonic balancer on. Okay, so we've got the harmonic balancer quite a bit of the way on by hand, and now, and the bolt probably went in about, I'd say, at least 10 turns before I needed to get the ratchet on it. And I'm just going to keep going in until it starts to turn. Okay, now that that's turning, I'll get this belt back on, the one that I started with, to go on the other way, get some tension on that, and we'll put some torque on it. Okay, so I've got all that set up, ready to tighten up. Now, old mate at Ford said to tighten it up at 65 Newton meters first, then back it off, and then put your thread lock on, and tighten it down anywhere between 100 to 125 Newton meters. So I'm going to go 125 Newton meters because that's the maximum setting. Okay, so it's currently set on 65 Newton meters. So that didn't take long, did it? Okay, so now I'll back that off. I'm going to have to put that belt around the other side again to undo that, and then we'll torque it back up to 125. So just a little bit of thread locker there. I keep on calling it Loctite, but I mean thread locker. And the blue one is for a higher tensile. It's not so soft. It's like a medium grade, and it's just to take the shatter and stuff out so the bolt can't shake itself loose. And all we need is just a little bit on the thread. Don't go crazy with it. Shit, there. Decides to just suddenly cough out. That's more than enough. So I'll put that on there now, and we'll torque it down to 125 Newton meters. Okay, so it just shows there. That's 125 Newton meters. Okay. Alright, if you don't already have one of these, get yourself one. This is so great. Beats just guessing by those torque settings on a torque wrench. Okay, so now I'll get this belt on, and we'll give her a run, and everything should be sweet. Okay, so that's all back on, ready to go. And the camera makes that belt look worse than what it does by my eyes, but it is brand new belt. It just got a bit of side damage because that my balance was offset. I'm not going to go get another one. It is brand new. I'm not going to get another one just because a little bit of the sides got scraped. Anyway, we'll start her up and make sure everything stays lined up when she's running. If you're watching this because you want to know how the belt was put on, there it is there. Alrighty.